Hello and welcome to this week's Wheelie Geek Chat. As always, I'm joined by my friend Shadow, who is currently on mute still. There we go, you are now off mute.
Well, you didn't hear me say hello, so let's say it again. Hello.
Okay, so this episode's going to be slightly shorter than what we aim for. Normally, we aim for about an hour. It's only going to be about 40 minutes. Um, it's just how things have worked out. So, um, I'm gonna get straight into my first and main topic because the rest of it's just kind of filler. Um, I read Blaine for the Win by Robbie Crouch. Couch. I'm never sure how to say his name. This is his second novel. His first one was The Sky Blues, which was awesome. This one, it's very different from the Sky Blues, even though they're both kind of school oriented. Um, they're very American school as well. Whereas Heartstopper, which I was obsessed with last week, and to be honest still am, um, it's very different to see like how British schools compared to the American. But in this one, essentially what this is a LGBT retelling of Legally Blonde, just aged down a hell of a lot because Legally Blonde is like she's going for her career. Well, she actually starts trying to just win somebody back, and she ends up
Her boy,
being
her ex-boyfriend.
yeah. Whereas in this, our main character Blaine is trying to get his um, boyfriend back, who broke up with him on their 1 year anniversary. And to be honest, he is such a douchebag. Like why he wants him back, I'll never know. But I'm so glad that by the end of it, they kind of see sense. But
And does she actually go out with somebody who was trying to help her in this one? But that's what happens in LGBT. That's what happens in Legally Blonde.
um, by the end of the book, Blaine ends up being with somebody who helped with his campaign. So yeah, it's exactly the same kind of plot threads as Legally
Yeah.
Blonde.
And funny you should mention Legally Blonde. I went to see Legally Blonde the musical at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2019,
Sweet.
which which is really good. And I plan is there's another production company, another like performing arts company doing Legally Blonde the musical again this year at the Fringe. So I'm hoping to go see that again.
I've only ever seen the two um, movies. Well, I know
Well,
there's
the
go,
musical is available to watch on YouTube.
sweet. I may have to check that out. I know there's um, more than the two movies, but the two uh, are like the main ones. But anyway, yeah. Blaine for the Win is essentially a retelling slash reimagining, whatever you want to call it, of that.
Mm,
Um,
absolutely.
Obviously with the LGBT spin, um,
Uh-huh.
and I just thought it was great. It was nice to read a LGBT book where the coming out wasn't the main focus. It was more everybody accepts the main character for what they are, and we just tell a really great story. It's awesome. Um, it was quite intense actually as well,
Mm-hmm.
which I really wasn't expecting, particularly when I know all of the plot beats that it was aiming to hit. I mean, obviously, some things had to change because it was like secondary school to us, whereas
Yeah,
the movies are like university age, roughly.
yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, um, I mentioned Heartstopper really briefly. Um, I'm still waiting on my order of the Heartstopper books, but you might be able to tell behind me I do have some of um, Alice's other works, which do have some of the same characters in, which I haven't read yet because I want to read them in a certain order. But I do know that Solitaire, even though I don't know the plot yet, um, is things from Charlie's sister's point of view. I just don't know where exactly in the timeline this fits. I do have a list for the order to read them in where the characters that all kind of link in fit. So I'm gonna be going from that. But Solitaire, I know, was actually her first book that she ever wrote. Um, and she's had to make some changes to make it fit with Heartstopper. Um, like modernize it, even though it's still a fairly modern book. I think it came out originally in 2015, so yeah, that's kind of all I can say about the extra books. Have you seen Heartstopper on Netflix yet?
I've not, no, not yet. I had a chance to check it.
I've seen it 3 times, and I'm kind of tempted to see it for a fourth.
Well, yeah, I'll check it out. But I've been focusing on other LGBTQIA plus representation medium
Sweet.
this week.
Well, that's a fantastic segue into you talking about your first thing that you want to talk about.
Yes, so I want to bring back and talking about Owl House again, or The Owl House as it give its full title. First of all, just a wee side note, I've discovered there's like little 45-second shorts, 5 episodes of shorts. It's like kind of like what I would say commercially type things for Owl House, but it's like commercials.
Right?
So it's like commercials within the world as opposed to like a commercial for the program.
Yeah.
So, for example, the name of the school that Luce goes to is Hexside. So there was the first episode of like this 45-second short was a commercial for school Hexside, and it was hilarious, because it was like this poor witch. He was getting basically absolutely destroyed, like as he was, as the the principal of the school was saying how safe it is and stuff like that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Even though it was only 45 seconds, it was still a lot filled in that 45 seconds.
those
But that yeah, go on.
those kind of short kind of trailers within the show, I usually just kind of funny kind of inside gags normally. So that sounds very much in keeping with what I would expect. Sounds
Yeah, so
sounds awesome.
it's really good. I suggest you check it out. And I also suggest you watch Owl House when you get to season 2. Watch it with a VPN because I tell you for why. Um, if you don't use it for the VPN, you'll only get 10 episodes for season 2. Whereas if you use a VPN, you'll get 16 episodes. If you have the VPN set to like a place in America.
Interesting. I wonder why that is.
I don't know why we haven't got the last 6 episodes of season 2, but that's just how it is, I guess. Um, but back, I totally digress. Back to what I was going to actually talk about Owl House, because it's just to keep on part with the LGBTQIA plus representation we've got here. But so last week, I don't know if you guys or if you remember that I said that they were strongly hinting that they like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Luce and Luce and
I don't remember the
that's
names.
terrible. That's terrible. I've been watching it for like how long have I been watching it? Weeks. And Luce Owl
Don't
House.
worry about it.
I'm listing it as we speak. Um, uh,
It's not that important. You could still say.
Anyway, uh, uh, oh, here we go. I've got it. Have I? Have I got it? Amity. That's it. Amity.
Yeah, we got there.
Here we got there in the end. Yes, but so how strongly hints that Luce and Amity like each other. But when I just watched episode 8 today, and it kind of raised up a level, so much so that I'm surprised it's on Disney. It's on a Disney streaming service.
Mm.
So, and I tell you why. So in this episode, Hoot, the character Hoot, which is like an owl, it's like an owl demon that lives in the house which Luce and the owl lady and Beast, and sorry, Luce, the owl lady and King live in. So Hoot's this character, very funny, uses the word hoot as a verb and is it verb or adjective? One of the two. But his name's Hoot as well. Anyway, he wanted to try and help these characters, like help Beast, help King, help the owl lady, and she's got a real name, but I can't remember her real name just now, and it doesn't really matter. It's a bit longer, and she wants to help Luce as well. Anyway, so how she helped Luce is because he realised that she wants to let Amity know that she likes her, and that wants to ask her out. So she put her in like a love tunnel. He basically kidnapped Amity, and then she found her in her basement, and then Hoot basically took them somewhere. I think he swallowed them, and she put them in some sort of place where there's this love tunnel. And she was and Luce was obviously trying so hard, like because she was getting so embarrassed because he thought Hoot was ruining his chances to ask her out. And in the end, though, that they asked each other out at the same time. So I thought, this is absolutely fantastic. It's a great LGBTQ plus IA representation.
So, do you think that you'll get any more seasons after this?
The Disney have said they're cancelling it, but there is going to be a season 3 where there's going to be 3 or 4 episodes, each 45 minutes long.
Oh, right, yeah. I think you did say that last week, and I'm just...
Yeah. But, yeah, so it's no longer a strong hint. It's now really obvious and out in the open.
Well, if I'm honest, I think with them being axed, that's probably made the creators go, do you know what? We might as well just go all out and hit the audience over the head and be like, yes, these two are in a same sex relationship and just deal with it. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I highly suggest you watch this series. It's each episode's about 24 minutes.
So I would
And
get to it really quickly then.
yeah, so it's absolutely fantastic. It's charming, it's sweet, and some adults that I like, older adults that I know in my life, they've watched the series as well. So people of all ages can get something out of it.
Cool. Um, if I'm honest, I would say the same about Heartstopper. You can get a lot out of it. Um, I mean, you have the gay representation, you have the trans representation, which I think is the most important. You've also got the bisexual representation, which is kind of the main focus of
Uh-huh.
the whole thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Although having said that, I would say the trans subplot is equally as important, which I know was beefed up in the show over the um, graphic novel series. And I know there's a whole load of changes between what works on the page and what works for the um, on-screen adaptation, but that always happens regardless of whether it's LGBT or not, you know. Um, and you even have a token straight friend in with the group of friends that we follow throughout the 8 episodes, and it works out. If you watch the entire series, it's only about 4 hours, which is awesome.
Uh-huh.
And I
Just
and I've watched it 3 times now, and each time I've seen something different that I didn't see. So it's well worth watching
well, that's
multiple
good.
times.
Um, well, I've actually started watching a different series just now. Um, I've actually literally just started watching it. It's called My Guy. It's on Amazon Prime.
I've not heard of that one.
Basically, it's about this old couple who live in this house, but they have this um, realm like underneath their in the basement of their shed in their back garden, and it takes them to a different planet. Um, and this other planet, it's just like a room that they're in with an observation. It's like an observation room looking outside, but they've never gone outside because they can't survive out there. And it's basically the story basically currently shows the relationship between the two elderly people and then their community. But then things have started to happen. Uh, like in episode 2, they discovered like a somebody lie inside this chamber, the viewing chamber.
Yeah.
Uh, very weak, injured. I don't know how he got there, and yeah, it's just all starting to. And I think he's linked to the family that's in Argentina, which you find out in episode 2 as well. There's like a family in Argentina. We don't know, like it just suddenly appeared, this family in the episode. Like, how are they linked? But then because of that other guy, we're thinking, well, maybe they're linked because of that.
It
And
sounds good.
I don't know how it's all going to play out, but it's really good. It's an Amazon Prime original.
Do you know how many episodes it is?
I can tell you right now. I'll have a look. There is episode 3, 4, 5. There's 8 episodes.
Okay. Sounds like it's doing a similar kind of thing to what Heartstopper is.
But I don't know if there's going to be more than 8 episodes because sometimes Amazon Prime release them week by week.
Right, yeah.
So there's currently 8 available to watch. Whether that's the last episodes in episode 8 or not, but yeah.
This might surprise you, but um, on Friday, Stranger Things season 4 came out, and I haven't
Yes, I
watched it
know. Yeah,
yet.
I haven't watched it yet either.
How recently did you see season 3 though?
Oh, it was a while ago, but I know what happened at the end of season 3.
See, I don't remember anything right now. Um, but I know when I do start to watch season 4, they'll do a recap of like the important points that I'll need to know going forward.
Shall I
Um,
tell you what happened at the end of season 3?
um, no, it's fine.
I could say spoiler alert, then I can tell.
Nah, it's fine. I'll just let Netflix do that for me when I actually start. Because normally what I would do is prior to when the next season would be coming out, I would watch from the first episode right through, and I just haven't done that this time. And it's purely because I'm more in the mindset of I want more stuff in the same vein as Heartstopper. So, like, I'm actually wanting more lighter stuff, and I never thought I would be one of those people that wants lighter content, you know? But hey,
You like horror, like everything. So
yeah. So, yeah, this is kind of weird for me.
I wouldn't say Stranger Things is a horror though. I would say it's more of like a sci-fi thriller.
It's definitely got some horror elements, though, for sure. So, like, you can
There is
easily
scary, yeah, but I wouldn't say it's an all like horror.
yeah, you can easily call it horror though. To me, horror and thriller are kind of interchangeable terms anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
you can be pedantic and be like, there is some subtle differences, but I really don't care. You know,
yeah,
like if it's got monsters and weird Love Lovecraftian kind of worlds within its universe, then yeah, that's kind of horror, you know?
yeah. Strange that, but yeah. Like see, because you know what, I don't watch horror, but I can watch Stranger Things.
See, so to me, that's like saying that you do watch horror, but you can only handle certain types, and that's fine.
Yeah, like for me, I don't see Stranger Things as a horror. That's why I can watch it because it's not like it's not got the the creepy music, the just the sudden quiet, then jumps out. Well, things do jump out sometimes, but it's not got the kind of you know the usual formula for a horror, where
Yeah,
it's like it's not full of gore, it's not full of slashing, and it's more about the story, more about the adventure and the sci-fi elements with a
hmm
tiny bit of scary elements to it.
I wasn't sure what else to talk about for this show, particularly with us having to do it a bit shorter. Um, but
I, I was going to talk about. Go on. Sorry. First of all, go on.
um, a few weeks ago, I finally seen the third Ghostbusters a movie, which I know is technically the fourth, but we don't count the all female cast one because I mean they didn't even have Janine in it really.
Yeah.
Um, but interesting thing about that is the woman who plays Janine, who's played her throughout all of the movies, who was the receptionist in the original, just in case you
Uh-huh.
didn't know who I was on about.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
the actress who plays her, she plays the grandma in Young Sheldon.
All right, yeah, yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
I've seen a few episodes of Young Sheldon. I've
Okay.
not seen like all.
Well, I won't get into that whole offshoot of that then. Um, but what made me think of that is just the Stranger Things connection, because they've both got, oh god, his name's just gone out my head. Finn,
Yeah, yeah. They've got Finn from Stranger Things in it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I,
and that's what I mean. Yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife does have a Stranger Things vibe to it. He has got Finn in it. It's
yeah.
still got like a sort of vibe.
I mean, it's essentially a retread of the things from the original movie, um, and the way that they incorporated Egon, I thought was
Yeah,
really well done. They
absolutely. Yeah, it did.
they got a fantastic look-alike, or for all I know, they might have done the whole di- digital face thing. For all I know, um,
They did. It was a CGI of the actor who played
right,
him.
okay. I mean, I knew they wouldn't be able to give him any um, lines per se.
But
Um,
technically, they can. There's technology available to do that. But they can
mm,
use his voice, upload it onto a computer, and then they can use CGI animation to manipulate his lips and use his voice from the machine and then make him say lines. So they could have done that if they wanted to.
yeah, they done that with I forget the name of the character. Um,
Leia,
I was thinking of Peter Cushing's character um, in Star Wars. Um, they brought him back um,
mm-hmm.
in Rogue One, I think,
All
and
right, okay.
and like they done the whole like map face thing to bring him back from the dead, obviously, because he's no longer with us. Um, and he his whole scenes, things didn't look right. Um, I mean, it served the purpose in terms of getting the bit of the story out, but you could tell that you weren't looking at a real person. So with Ghostbusters, I'm glad that they didn't go down the route of giving him any speaking, because that would have made things seem a bit weird. So yeah, it it was a great kind of passing of the torch kind of thing. Um, the one thing that did kind of bug me though is there actually wasn't any Slimer in this one.
Was there not? I thought there was.
Not in the same sense. Like there was a Slimer-like character, but he was kind of big and mean, and whereas Slimer was like still gross and um a little bit smaller than what this other character was, but he certainly wasn't mean. So yeah. Anyway, that was my one kind of gripe with it. But like they had all of the surviving Ghostbusters cast. I was most impressed that they even gave Janine kind of a cameo spot, which the way that they put her in there, it didn't make sense, because it was like, is she looking after the house that this family's inherited? And
Uh,
all the way through, it was like, which of the Ghostbusters do you think is the father of the mother of this family, and I kind of had an idea it would be Egon because one of the kids in this movie was like done up to be like the spitting image of him, but like the way that the mum talked about him, everything just pointed to Bill Murray's character, you know. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, anyway, great movie.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was a good movie as well, and um, I did. What movie did I saw Doctor Strange into the Multiverse last week. I didn't talk about that, did I? Because I did.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. So I won't go over it again because I've already talked about that one, and it was a good movie.
Yeah, I am pretty sure that you did talk about that. Um, is there anything else that you're wanting to cover? Because we've only got like 9 minutes left.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time for me to go on about my topic about theory and otherkin because I was going to talk about theory and otherkin, but I don't think I can do it in just 9 minutes.
Right, okay.
So
Well, shall we just call it quits then?
yeah, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just a shame that we've had to make it a bit shorter this time. But that's just how it is sometimes. So, um, as always, I hope you've had fun watching this, and we will hopefully see you next week. Um,
I, I hope you had a really good time.